Best ball ADP is always changing. Every time we're on the clock, we're the people making that ADP move. It's time for us to decide which players we like best. Over on Underdog right now, Terry McLaurin is being drafted at 53. Jaxon Smith-Njigba is being picked a couple of spots later at 56.4. On the one hand, we've got a rookie who hasn't caught a single ball in the NFL yet. We don't even know which team he's going to be on. And on the other hand, we've got a player who's played 4 seasons in the NFL. So which one is the best pick right now? Let's get into it.
Round 1.
Terry McLaurin is one of the hardest wide receivers to judge in the NFL. Year after year, he plays well despite the circumstances around him, but he never puts up a really, truly elite season with only one top 24 finish in half PPR points per game. In 2022, he managed 2 top 10 performances and 11 outside the top weekly 24. That ain't really very helpful. Since McLaurin entered the league, here's the QBs he's caught passes from. I mean, come on, Washington, you've got to help your boy out. You can see that it's just a complete mess. Nobody of a real high standard. Players all over the place, in and out of the lineup after a couple of games. So it's hardly like McLaurin's had much stability around him. But that theme looks set to continue, with reports suggesting the Commanders go forward with Sam Howell in 2023. Howell wasn't deemed good enough to supplant Carson Wentz or Taylor Heineke last year. He only started 1 game in Week 18 when it was completely obvious the team was out of everything. But now suddenly the team believes in him. The Commanders pick at 16 in the draft, so if this is a smokescreen, then they're really going to have to make some aggressive moves to make up and get one of these highly rated prospects, which doesn't seem likely with the Commanders in flux whilst they're waiting to see if they're going to sell the team or not. In the one game that Sam Howell did play, McLaurin had 3 catches for 74 yards and a touchdown on 6 targets. I mean, if he could produce like that every week, then he'd definitely be paying off his ADP. The case against McLaurin also centers around the competition surrounding him. In 2022, with Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson on the team, McLaurin's team target share percentage dropped to a career-low 21.8%. Jahan Dotson flashed at times, and if he hadn't missed 5 games with hamstring injury, he might be picking up more hype himself right now. McLaurin's stats in 2022 were almost identical, though, with and without Dotson playing, so we didn't need to worry too much about whether Dotson's taking targets away. Eric Bieniemy's new OC in Washington, he should bring some interesting ideas and creativity to a team that badly needs it. McLaurin's ADP has him at wide receiver 28, which is lower than he's ever finished before in total points. You can see here, in points per game, he's a 1 finish below that position of wide receiver 28. So do we believe that McLaurin is going to have his worst ever season, or can he outplay his ADP? While you're here, hit that like button. 50% of you watching this aren't subscribed. Leave me a comment, tell me who you prefer out of this battle. Hit the like and subscribe. Loads of rookie content on the way.
Round 2.
On the other side of this battle, Jaxon Smith-Njigba is one of the top fantasy relevant prospects in this draft, and you can check out our rookie preview video linked in the description and comments below. The Ohio State wide receiver is Daniel Jeremiah's wide receiver 2, and he says he expects Smith-Njigba to have a similar impact to that of Amon-Ra St. Brown. JSN is a slot receiver typically, which is why that comparison springs up, or perhaps you'll hear like Jarvis Landry when he came out of college. Some fantasy football players shy away from the idea of a slot receiver, but when you've got fantasy superstars like Cooper Kupp, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and CeeDee Lamb all playing over 50% of their snaps there, they seem to manage just fine. If it wasn't for the hamstring injury that kept Smith-Njigba out of all but 3 games this year, perhaps he'd be garnering even more hype in the fantasy community. In 2021, when he was healthy, though, he played alongside Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, and he outproduced them both with more targets and yards than either of the other two. And they seem to have translated to the NFL just fine. According to mock draft database, JSN is set to be a top 20 pick, and if that happens, we're only going to see his ADP increase. People missed out on Amon-Ra St. Brown in his rookie year, and they missed out on him all over again last year. The public aren't letting that happen again. They're drafting him inside the top 15 on Underdog right now. Are we getting Amon-Ra light in Jaxon Smith-Njigba? If so, 40 spots is a big discount and one we should be taking advantage of. So who should we be drafting? This one's tricky and I struggle to come down on a concrete side of things. What we're talking about with these players at this price in this area of the draft, we don't need them to be wide receiver 1s every week. We just need the most usable weeks possible. Right now, I strongly believe that Jaxon Smith-Njigba's ADP is only going to rise. So I'd be drafting 50% more of him than Terry McLaurin.
Winner!
If that means you're taking 8% McLaurin, then I'd be taking 12% JSN. 10% McLaurin, 15% JSN. I really believe both these players have been slightly undervalued, but if I had to bet on one, it's the rookie who, in the words of Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, is the best athlete out of the lot. While you're here, like, subscribe. We've got loads more rookie content coming, got loads more best ball content. This season is only just getting started.